superstar. He is an absolute superstar, Tom Mitchell. Cripps at the back. Cripps is too good. Neil, yes! Oh, how good was that?
All right, today's pod is one of my favourite teammates to play with. We've become very close over the last 12 months I've been at the club. There's a little group we like to call the Slack. Darcy Cameron, Billy Frampton, myself and the Bruz, and T-Will, of course. Probably one of the best text groups I've ever been in.
Yeah,
we're probably operating at roughly 100 notifications a night.
Yeah, bar Billy Frampton, the bloke never puts in.
He gives
we
nothing.
We might have to give him the boot. But it's a great group to be a part of. Yeah, we do text quite a bit. But it's.
I always think I don't have a girlfriend obviously, but you're with Ashley and the other boys have partners. I've found it quite funny, like at the best and fairest, chatting to the girls and how they've actually got your phones and muted the group at times because we just you spend no time talking to your partners at home because you're too busy texting the boys just about absolute garbage.
Oh man, when I'm sitting there and I'm going back and forth with you boys, and I end up just pissing myself. Ashley's just sitting there going, "What are you laughing at?" Like she's getting angry.
She wants to be involved.
Yeah, she wants to be involved, but she can't because it's actually quite funny when we're going back and forth, message after message, and we just start pissing ourselves, and then she's just wondering why we're laughing so much.
Well, a lot of it is just to do with stuff that happens at the club during the day that just little inside jokes and things like that. But it is funny because we spend all day every day together, and then we're all walking out of the club together. And it's like, all right, boys, I'll speak to you in 2 minutes, and then it's straight onto the text group. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. No, it's a great group. Great group of boys.
I'd like to thank the sponsor of this episode, Davos and Miles. For those that don't know, they're a wealth management company. They've been very good to me and a number of other AFL players. As professional athletes, we face a multitude of financial challenges throughout our career. We're time poor and hence don't really have the time to plan for our future a lot of the time. So engaging a suitable wealth manager can assist in avoiding all the financial pitfalls and preparing financially for life after football or whatever you do with your career. So I highly recommend them. Fellow AFL professionals, past and present, have been using Nick Davos from Davos and Miles Wealth Partners to secure their financial future, including myself. I've been with them for a number of years now. They help with things such as cash flow and capital management, finance and lending solutions, tax planning and structuring, investment and portfolio management. What I've benefited from in addition to these services is the transparency and tailored approach they take with my personal financial affairs, which has allowed me to focus on my footy whilst they focus on growing and preserving my wealth accordingly. So this can apply to anyone in whatever field you're in. Highly recommend for all listeners that they check out www.davosandmiles.com, get a complimentary financial health check. This is going to set up your future, so I highly recommend. Mate, we've been on off-season. It's been roughly a month since the big day, which was probably one of the most special days of our lives. And obviously you've been away. We'll get to your trip, but it's kind of cool even to see, a few of the boys today. I feel like you've just got home and we saw Quainer and Joshy Dacos in at the club and just that bond that you can already feel through achieving what we did.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like our culture over the last 2 years, it's like we took off and we, from the moment Fly actually came in, it's like we took off straight away. The culture was there straight away. The connection and relationships were just off to a great start. And I feel like Fly's come in and actually really driven that. And I feel like this year in particular, it's just gotten stronger and stronger. And now we've won the flag. So it's like we're all best mates. And it's a whole club thing as well. It's just not the 23 that went out there and won it on the day. The whole club, going into the club every day, it's just such an amazing place to be around. And I can't wait to get back into it. We saw Joshy Dacos before in Q and we're saying to each other, we just want to get back and get stuck into it because we love training with each other, love hanging out with each other. So it's such a good place to be around.
It's a good sign, isn't it? Because you hear things about premiership hangovers and things after big seasons, but it's hard to predict the future. But I feel as though we've got a very driven group, and like you said, you speak about the connection and the love for each other we have. It's like when I'm sure you've had seasons as well where you don't dread coming back to training, but you're not looking forward to the hard work to an extent. Whereas I feel as though we've got a group that we love being around each other so much, and we know the hard work's coming. You have to put it in, but it's like we want it, and it's And we got probably another month off, which we'll enjoy. But yeah, you can already speaking to a lot of the guys. Everyone's feeling quite similar.
Well, I feel as though like it started from when Fly came in again, and Wadey, the high performance coach. He came in and. Yes, it's hard work, but like you said, we love getting after it and we love getting better. So it makes it a lot easier. And if everyone puts in the hard work and we get a lot out of it, then we see the benefits. And you can clearly see that what we did this year is from just getting better every day, hard work. And yes, it is hard, but we just go out there and we get better. We love doing it. We love doing it with such a good group, which makes it so much fun to come into work. And I guess I've never really been a part of a club or a team with just such high energy, wanting to get better. It's actually truly amazing to see what we can potentially do over the next couple of years, because I reckon we've got the group to do some seriously special things.
Yeah, hopefully. Because that feeling you get when the siren goes, which we'll touch on a bit later, because some of the footage of you is pretty epic. Me and you had a pretty cool moment on the ground as well. Yeah. We were grabbing each other and when it all sort of came together. But with even the off-season training, for example, and I haven't been a part of a club that does it like this either, and it's probably one of Wadey's, things and the high performance team in general that, I've been at clubs where you get your 2 weeks off and then a training program that's very regimented. It's this day, it's all mapped out and it's all very like this. And the approach here is very different in that we still haven't been sent out a program, and because the whole idea of it is to have self-driven athletes, which I've never even thought of that, but it's like if you need support in an area, whether it be strength with your weights or your running, you can seek out a coach. But it's like a self-driven athlete shouldn't be told what to do. It's like you go figure it out yourself. So today's session, like we made that up ourselves. Exactly. Which we might not have nailed it, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah, so do I. I reckon it definitely just comes down to the individual. And we were saying before that it is a lot easier and a lot more fun if you do workouts with each other and in groups. So we do that, and I feel like if you put in the work, no matter the situation, you don't want to come back unfit. So if you put in the work, you know you're going to come back and feel good and know that you've put in the work to come back and I guess get PBs and whatever that is. So and you quickly find out if you don't do the work in the off season that it clearly shows. So I guess it just comes back to our group and how much we actually want it, and because we've got the ultimate success, we actually don't want to have a premiership hangover. We want to go again. Yeah. So the amount of times I've seen boys sort of getting after it, going into the club, it's a great sign.
And your season, like obviously you're a superstar player, all Australian, but even on best and fairest night, like I think one thing that was, you're going to be modest, but one thing that I thought was always going to be a given was best clubman, which I actually rate as an award across the competition, that if you're voted as that within your club, that's pretty special. And I feel like you and Steele could have gone to one of you, but you've won it back to back now, which is pretty cool. We'll touch on that, but also coming second in the BNF. Like you were a little bit surprised, but Josh Dacos obviously won, and probably does help if you play more games in terms of how the voting and things like that works. And you tie with Nick for second. And I remember because we were on the same table, you were not ready for that.
Mate, I was not ready for it. And I was actually not ready for the other award for the best clubman. I had gone and taken I actually went to the toilet to take a piss, and then I was coming out and everyone was like, oh, you got to hurry up. You got to get up on stage. Your name's being called out for an award. I was thinking, like, what award? Yeah. Anyway, so I come out the back from the toilet straight onto the stage. And
yeah, that's right, because you didn't even come back to the table.
Yeah, and I just stood up on stage, and I wish I could have that moment back because I feel a bit rude for it. I just came out and said, sorry everyone, I was taking a piss, which was probably not acceptable and the right thing to do.
That's just you being you.
That's just me, right? So, no, very grateful and honoured to be get that award. So it was a big night. I'd probably had a few too many drinks before, not knowing that I was actually going to win any awards. But
well, you had to make
a heads up would have been good.
2 speeches on the night. It's
Two
pretty,
speeches
it doesn't
on the
happen too
night,
often.
which, I mean, back in the day, I wasn't too good at public speaking. And
Well, I was going to say, it's probably an improvement on other speeches you've done in the past. So.
I think so. I've come a long way with the speeches, but I reckon I can still get better with.
Hey,
that. It's all a part of
the
it.
best speeches are the ones that, and I think Pendles was the one that said it to you. I was there. He's like, your speeches are the best because they're just so genuine and authentic. Like it's not the boring robotic answer that everyone wants to hear. It's like you're going to get a bit of the buzz.
Well, there were so many like thank yous that I didn't even do. Like I didn't even thank Bolts. I only really thanked Fly.
But
And
it
Ashley, and
is
I
hard
just-
on the spot.
Yeah, on the spot, I was thinking, like, oh, what do I say here? What do I say? And then I sort of just rambled on for a bit, and that's all she wrote. So I was just, I was pretty. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty pissed.
That's what the BNF night's for, and especially after you won a flag, you've had every reason to have a good night. But let's get to the final series because obviously the journey of the season is so long and there's so many ups and downs. You know what it's like. It's a roller coaster. You've been playing footy for a long time and, you go through each game and, I heard this stat the other day. We won a combined, the 3 finals, the combined winning margin was something like 12 points. So we won by 7, 1 and 4.
Yeah.
So like crazy little margins where tiny things add up. And so if you start at the Melbourne game, for example, like we were out to a big lead and then Melbourne came charging home in the last quarter. And obviously that was a tough game for you personally with, with the incident with Gus and, you two being so close. But how did you manage to get through that game? Because obviously, clearly we know, and knowing you, it was a footy accident.
Yeah.
But like even to see an opposition player who's still a good mate of yours in the position it was in, like how did that make you feel and did it affect your game on the day?
It definitely affected me because I know Angus on a personal level and I grew up playing junior footy with him and I was quite close with him. When I didn't realise I'd actually knocked him out until I sort of just like walked the other way and I turned around and he was just on the floor and I was like, holy shit. So I went over there and to check on him and then I had about 10 Melbourne blokes come over and try to fight me. So I was really, really rattled at the fact that what happened. Purely an accident, went up to smother the ball and, obviously reached out to his family, reached out to him and his partner, Danielle, did what I needed to do. And I felt like I really, really wanted to show my love and respect to him and Danielle by taking them flowers, a bottle of red. And, I just think it's a pure accident. And accidents do happen in football games and, my love goes out to him, and I've still checked up. I've still checked up on him a couple of times recently. So, all love for him, and I guess it's an accident, like I said.
Of course, but people would think that whole how you've handled it post would be manufactured, but the people that know you truly know that that's just genuinely you. Like all the boys, hence why you've been voted the best clubman back-to-back years, the most caring teammate I think I've ever played with. And obviously you play on the edge, like on the footy field, like you're hard and tough and you stick up for your teammates. But, off field, it's almost like you've got like, this split personality. Like I think I'm similar. You have to be
ego sort of thing.
Yeah, you have to be this almost like character that you become on game day to perform. Like I have to get myself into a state where I have to be like that, otherwise I'm not going to play well.
I don't know what happens. It's just like as soon as I cross the white line, it's just ultimate white line fever pretty much. But I've got like an extreme level of it. Like off the field, like you said, I'm a caring, loving,
We do anything for anyone.
protective, do anything for anyone. If anyone ever needs help, I'm there to help them. And but when I cross that white line, I'm just like, I actually can feel myself just turn into this
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, like Super Saiyan bloody competitor that just wants blood. Like, you
Yeah,
know, like,
yeah.
it's pretty crazy to think that I can change from one person to another when
It
I
is.
cross that white line. And I guess that's just who I am and what makes me the footballer I am. Like, I wouldn't change it for anything. So, I just love competing and I love the physical side of it.
And I think it's so funny. Like, you play with so many different guys across the journey and different teammates, and everyone is different. Like, some guys need to be, quite jovial, relaxed, and having a laugh. Like, and we're all very good at that too. But you break up from the 3/4 time huddle or whatever at halftime. There's the blokes like literally still taking the genuine piss, having a laugh, and then there's probably as we get closer to the game starting again, there's guys like probably me and you that are right. I know we need to sharpen here, otherwise.
100%.
I know that about myself now. Like, I've had games where I've tried to do that. I'm like, personally, it doesn't work. I have to get into a state to do my bit for the team. Otherwise, you're not going to be at your best and at your optimum. And I feel like you can relate to that.
Yeah, I guess everyone's different. Like, I do see Geordie at halftime just standing there talking to Jackie the psych. A few blokes are just standing around, having a laugh, chit-chatting, but everyone's different. You just got to do what you have to do to be able to go out there and perform. So, I'm like you. I like to get moving at halftime and sort of I sometimes go against the wall and just hit the wall a couple of times just to get a feel and just get myself up and about. And, everyone does different things, but I guess you just got to do what you have to do to be able to go out there and get after it.
100%. If we move on to the next game, so we obviously had the week off and then headed to the Giants game, which, far out, went right down to the wire as well.
That was crazy.
And it seemed as though, from what I could tell, I don't have a lot to do with the back line, but obviously Toby Green being such a superstar of the comp, it seemed like you and Q both were, supporting each other in a lot of those contests. Like, there was a couple of times where, it might be you holding out Toby and Q coming to the top and vice versa. And not that it was a plan 2-on-1 thing, but the care you guys have in the back line to look out for each other, knowing that how dangerous he is. And he still kicks a few freakish goals on the night,
man,
where it's like you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about that. You might not have been near him at the stoppage. I was like, freak, left foot snap. Like, how are you going to stop that?
And you know what even makes it harder? He's bloody covered up in oil.
Yeah.
But I reckon he put some sort of like vinegar oil on because he actually...
Couldn't tackle.
No, I couldn't tackle him, but he actually, with all due respect to him, he actually stunk. Like, he stunk of all this vinegar because it was all over his arms.
Really?
So I reckon it's a bit of a power play and actually really smart of him to do it.
Because I have to ask him about that.
Yeah, I know.
I'll get him on the pod.
Because he lathers his whole arms, his shoulders, and it's not just oil. Because I remember back when we played Sydney in the prelim last year and Buddy had oil all over his arms.
Yeah.
But that didn't stink, whereas Toby had this oil on him and it actually stunk like vinegar.
Maybe he's way of getting him away from you.
Exactly right. And it did work at some stages of the game. It did have me thinking about it. But, obviously probably one of the best players in the comp, and it took quite a few of us to try stop him, but he even played one of his better games, and he nearly kicked that goal at the end, which was...
I was going to say, I was right behind that.
Luckily, Steele was
Still
on the
marked
goal
it on the goal line.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going in. I had the angle right behind it. If it had more distance on it, it probably goes in. So, pretty scary. On the oil thing, who do you reckon started that whole thing? Because I look back to like when I used to watch footy as a kid, and I just remember Ben Cousins with the oil.
Did he? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like, he was just chiseled.
Tom Hawkins always puts oil all over his arms. But I reckon it's actually a really smart idea.
Never tried it. Have you
smart
tried it?
idea. I've never tried it. I think Dangerfield does it as well.
Yeah,
There's a few people that do it. I personally don't think I would ever do that, but I can see why they do that.
Yeah. I feel like you need a bit of a tan or something to do it. Like, I wouldn't suit it. Just like, I wouldn't suit it. I wouldn't suit a tap. Are you going to get a Premiership tap, by the way?
Yes.
And where are you going to get it?
Yes, I actually need to. I was just thinking something simple, maybe on my ankle somewhere. Nothing silly, nothing stupid, but I'm still trying to figure out. But I'm wondering if everyone else is going to get one.
Well, that's why I'm going to run by it.
It.
No, mate, there's going to be, I reckon, more will than won't.
If there's a tattoo artist out there,
I think Jamie's
got one.
Bobby's already got his.
What did he get?
I don't know. Well, I saw he sent me a photo of him getting his. Actually, here's a funny story. I was at a mate's wedding last weekend.
down Mornington Peninsula way, and one of my mates, huge Pies fan, and his favourite player is Bobby Hill. He's getting on his quad a full photo of Bobby's head with a Norm.
Wow. Good on him. Must be diehard.
Some of well, literally. And we've met a lot of Pies fans who are diehards. Well, you would have met way more than me, being at the club for over 10 years. But what are some funny stories of things that have happened with a Pies fan? I remember when we did that speaking night one night, you were telling a few things about the funniest things you've had to sign and funniest interactions. Give us a couple of them, because we love the Pies fans and they love us, and they love the Bruz probably more than it. You'd be top 3 fan favourite easy.
Man, far out. Some funny stories. So when we had the gather round in Adelaide and we went and trained at the Sturt, I think it was Sturt's Oval.
Yep.
And after the training session, we went around and just did a signing session. Anyway, there was this lady, she was like mid-30s, high 30s, and she wanted me to sign her leg because she was going to go get it tattooed.
Sign her leg,
right? Sign her calf. And she pulled up her jeans and she had the hairiest legs. And there's no problem with that.
Yeah.
But it was like this mid 30-year-old with the hairiest legs, man. And I was like, far out, how am I even going to ride on this thing? Because they were so hairy. They were hairier than mine.
Yeah.
And
So she basically wanted you to sign it with a texter so she could trace it and get it tattooed.
Yeah. So, and I've had multiple people ask me to sign their heads. But this lady, man, when she jumped over the fence, she put her leg up in front of me, pulled her jeans up, and she had the hairiest legs. And I was like, whoa. It just sort of hit me for 6.
Did you still sign it?
I still sign it, yeah.
Good.
So I reckon she's got that tattooed on her leg, which was wasn't confronting, but it just sort of caught me off guard a little bit.
Well, mate, they love the Bruz. So I love how it's gone this year from since I've been at the club, it's gone from Bruzzy to Bruz to you're like this video called The Bruz, and the boys call you The Bruz. There's only one Bruz.
There's plenty of nicknames. But just Bruzzy, or the Bruz. I sort of refer to myself sometimes as the Bruz, which can be embarrassing.
That's the best. In the text groups when you go, nah, boys, the Bruz doesn't agree with that. That's the best. That always gets a good laugh.
I'm just trying to think of some other funny stories.
While you're thinking, the ones I always find harder are you're very good with kids, and I'm pride myself on being very good with kids as well, but probably from the ages of 3 onwards. But I always struggle when someone's like, oh, can you hold my baby and get a photo? And I'm like, I don't know how to hold a baby. And I'm kind of holding it like a footy. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with this thing. So it's always like this awkward photo where I'm sort of like holding it out here, and like I feel uncomfortable. People you don't know, you don't want to hold their babies.
Yeah, I don't know why they want us to just hold their babies. It's just like, it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable.
This is funny. We've had a laugh about this before. The funniest ones are when people say, oh, can we get a photo?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah. And you go to put your arm around them and get a photo, and they go, no. And they just want to literally just take a photo of you on their phone as if they've run into you. And so you're just standing there awkwardly with a thumbs up.
Oh my God, I don't know why they do that. Why wouldn't you want to be in the photo?
Yeah, correct.
Or what annoys me when people go, oh, can I have a photo? And then they actually don't have their phone out of their pockets or the camera actually ready to take a photo. So you're sort of just standing there
they're the tough ones on which, the tough ones on fan days when you've got, thousands of people to try and, make their day and make them happy.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Because it's so many
it's
people you
all
want to get to.
respect for our fans. We have the best fans in the land, that's for sure.
Oh, big time.
107,000? 107,000? I reckon we're going to top that. I reckon we're going to get... I reckon I'm going to say we'll get 110,000 in 2024.
Heard it here first from the Bruz.
We'll reach new heights and
it feels
good
that
luck catching us.
You know better than me, but over the last 2 years it sounds like, but even this year was just an avalanche of Sunday games, you're getting 75,000. Finals, every game's over 100 or close to it.
We had we had 7. Oh shit! Sorry, I saw that. We had 7 Sunday games where we were averaging a crowd of 60 to 70,000. That's
and the Fridays are always 95. Mate. I think
is that the biggest difference from when you?
I was chatting to actually Michael Roberts, the historian of the club today. We were talking about how he's explained to me that this was probably the biggest premiership in the club's history, and he said, "I'm not just saying that because he's historian of the club, but because of the connection between the fans and players, and it probably stems from Fly's messaging around we're going to give back after every training session, every interaction you have ever with a fan, you give them the time, you treat them like someone that you know. If you treat them like a friend, they're one of us.
Exactly.
And
right.
I reckon they feel that, and then it's brought on this absolute I don't even know how to describe it, an avalanche, and that is the biggest difference from the other clubs. And I feel as though if you're an aspiring footballer or a footballer, if you were ever wanting to win a premiership, you'd want to do it at Collingwood because you can't replicate that experience, I don't think.
Exactly
Richmond's pretty massive. Carlton, huge club. Collingwood, same thing.
I reckon we're definitely the biggest. I reckon we're definitely the biggest and the biggest fan base, obviously. But the way that Fly sort of got his message across to the whole Collingwood Football Club, but our fans, was something I've never seen before. Like the way he wanted to bring the fans along for the ride and along for the journey, and which we have been doing.
It's literally in our DNA board. It's one of our things that we pride ourselves on.
Yeah, but we actually made sure we really brought them along for the ride this final series. And I'm not saying we haven't in the past, but we made it a real focus point. And it's literally, we've said it all year, they're a 19th man for us, and they do help us get us across the line. And because we've had so many close finishes, they do help us get
100%,
get us across the line in those close finishes. And like you said before, 12 points.
Well, who's to say that doesn't have that? That's the difference.
Exactly right. Like some of the Collingwood chants throughout the game, like I think it might have been GWS or even in the Granny in Brisbane, they started the Collingwood chant like 5 minutes into the game. Like that's just, and you're out there and you can actually hear it. And it's such an amazing...
It's spine tingling.
Yeah. It's euphoric feeling when everyone's going nuts and saying the Collingwood chant. That's why I absolutely love giving it back to them and saying the Collingwood chant, especially after the game.
Let's get to that now. That was what I wanted to bring up. So everyone's sort of got their thing, right? So I'm not sure if you've noticed us after games, after a win, Darcy Moore does this thing where he always walks through the middle of the goals, through the cheer squad, and he does this thing, gets them up and about and does this thing with his ear. Your thing, which I think you should cling on and claim this, is starting the Collingwood chant for the fans. So you did it grand final week. Do you remember when we did a lap? We're like, let's get around the fans before we start training. We're on the far wing, having a stretch. It's pretty quiet. Then Bruzzy just looks into the crowd and just starts going, Collingwood. And then before you knew, you had 10,000 fans doing it.
Yeah, that was elite. That was so much fun. And that whole week in general is such an amazing week to be a part of. I remember in 2018, just like running around, get everyone involved, and we didn't actually get the fans sort of involved with it all as much as we did this year. And when we were running that lap, we sort of were just running around, stopped for a stretch, and I was like, I'm just going to do it here. So I turned to the crowd and just started doing the Collingwood chant, and everyone was loving it, having a laugh, and that's what it's all about, I guess. And
100%.
then, when the final siren went, we all went bananas, celebrated, did what we needed to do, but then I was like, here we go, I better go do it. Went to the goal square.
Yeah.
And I reckon from level 1 to the top tier of the MCG were just saying Collingwood, and I don't know, there were just so many emotions running through. Like I was emotional, I was like happy, sad, but it was just absolutely crazy to sort of be in that situation and have everyone sort of looking down and just saying the Collingwood chant. And
I know
sort
exactly
of
where it was because we at the club were talking about it. I said, Bruz, do you remember this? Because I was actually egging you on to do it. So we'd started the victory lap, where we come out of the race. So there's that end of the goals. We'd gone to the other end and we were just sort of like sitting in there, taking it all in. I'm like, Bruz, I reckon this could be you here. Like,
and then we're
and you walk to the fence and you start the Collingwood chant. And then I just remember seeing like level 1 to 4, all black and white. 1,000 people just getting on board with you. I was like, Bruz, this is your thing now. You can own this.
Man, it was the most euphoric feeling. The things I do to sort of get that back, like we were saying before, the want now, because we've done it, the want and the willingness to just come in and get after it and go again.
Yeah.
It's just something that I'll cherish forever, and it's something that we have to lead and keep doing because far out, there's no feeling like it. Like there was I've never felt like that ever. So
neither.
Let's go do it again.
100%. Let's do it again. we're going to touch on the granny because we're actually going to chuck on a quarter right now.
What quarter were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking the third. Well, Beetlejuice. Well, I was thinking maybe the third only because what sticks out in my head. Well, there's this kick you do in the second to Howie to Bobby. That's probably one of the most iconic plays of the granny.
Yeah.
We can watch that because I reckon that's cool too. But I was thinking the third because you do have this one play where you stream off half back, you hit Jamie, hits Bobby. From memory as well, that's the quarter you have your set shot. You almost bomb one from 50. Almost nailed. You flushed it.
I did flush it, and then I don't know how it didn't go in. I reckon the wind, the very last second, just took it to the left a bit. And oh my God, if I had kicked that,
wow,
I would have gone bananas. But
you would have started Collingwood chant on the bench.
Yeah, well, I had Geordie going around bloody asking for a handball, and I thought, nah, mate, just leave it to me. But now, because I missed it, probably should have given it to him because he was on that game.
Yeah,
it's
let's chuck the third on.
Yeah,
give it a go.
Let's go.
Go, Bruss.
Let's do it, Bruss.
Nice.